Wood clay is the worst. True statement or not? Creativity is the best. As a child, I watched a lot of Neil Buchanan and Tony Hart, but today my absolute favourite artist and sculptor to watch is Jazza. I got to meet Jazza and share my wood clay with him. Jazza is an artist and YouTuber, so much talent and so much energy. He tried out a different brand of wood clay and he declared it the worst medium he'd ever worked with. So when I had chance to go and meet him in Makers Central in Birmingham, I decided to take some wood clay with me, something that I'd made for him and also a pack of the fresh clay. Here I share with you how I make a cartoon head out of wood air dry clay, along with me having great fun meeting Jazza. I personally do love this craft medium. It just takes a little bit more getting used to if you've been used to polymer clay or regular air dry clay. It contains lots of wood fibres, it dries beautifully, you just have to know how to work with it. And I'll share with you a few tips and tricks on how I like to work with mine. When rolled out, it does like to crack around the edges, but it's easily squeezed back together with just some tiny dabs of water on your finger, and I find rather than a smoothing motion, a nice tapping motion really brings that clay back together. Having a structure inside like the wire and tin foil really helps. You really want to make sure you have something that you can press the clay up against so that it holds itself in place. As well as using my fingers with some water on, a tool like this piece of wood really helps smooth everything out. And having some different shaped tools like this really help us with the sculpting. Wood clay is not as sticky as regular air dry clay, and so you have to really press it and form it and be quite delicate with it really. If you need to add some extra pieces, like I need to add the nose here, you can score the area and then wet it, or as I've done here, I've wet it, it's a small amount that I'm adding, and then smoothing it all together just to make it all joined and into one piece again. And then using some different implements that you might have around your home, even a table knife is good for this, add in some details. There I added some more wood clay to add the cheekbones in. The clay is still all really soft at this stage, so you do have to be careful how you handle it, as when you're doing one area, just to make sure that you're not squashing and holding onto another area that you've added detail to. This clay also accepts wood glue really easily. As I do here, it's a good idea to use the glue when adding certain areas like the eyeballs. While the clay is wet, it accepts lots of little intricate details. You can add as many details as you wish. Face sculptures really aren't my forte at all. I like to do nice, simple, abstract ones normally. So I've gone for more of a cartoon one here. I want to add some hair detail with the wood clay, and so again I use some white craft glue or wood glue to add this on. If wood clay is new to you, then I do encourage you to have a play and experiment, try at least one pack. I really like it and it dries quite a bit lighter and so it has lots of uses. Something I'd like to try more of with the wood clay is jewellery, some nice pendants, and it also moulds really well into silicone moulds, so it's really great for that. In another one of my videos I started making this figure, which was going to be a bobblehead, and it's this piece that inspired this video. This was made in the same way with wire and then tinfoil, but this one with white air dry clay. So I also recommend completing a project like this with the white air dry clay. Still very rustic at this stage, but it can be sanded and smoothed. While I'm adding the details, it's quite hard to hold it and not damage some of the other details I've just created, so I'm leaving it to dry, leaving it overnight. It's firmed up enough to hold its shape, but it's still damp underneath, and you can see the colour difference between the fresh clay there. Now that this has dried a bit, any areas I want to add any more clay, I just dampen them slightly and then carry on. You can also add a little bit of watered down glue if you prefer. The clay can be shaped with a scalpel, indenting it like this or by cutting bits away. As I said, this hasn't had chance to fully dry yet, and so it's still a little brittle, so I did manage to knock off one of those hair pieces at the front, but I just add a bit of the white glue and paste it back on, and it will dry and it will set really rock hard in place. When using a knife, I always say cut away from your hands, not towards your hands like I am here. I had originally wanted to make this one into a bobblehead, but I decided that I think with the wood clay, I just wanted to make it into more of the bust shape. So I bent the wire, add some more tin foil and cover the rest in the wood clay. This time using the craft glue on the aluminium foil. It's not my finest masterpiece, I know, but hopefully you get the idea of what you can do with the wood clay. I left it to dry and tipped it on its back while it was drying, and while it was drying like this, it actually managed to crack the back, so all I ended up doing there, I added a little bit of water and then some fresh clay into the crack, just to seal everything over. I ended up making this all far too quickly, as the day after right now in the video is the day I travelled to Maker Central. Once the wood clay is 100% dry, you can treat it as a piece of wood. You can carve it, you can sand it, you can scratch into it, and also stain it, but on this occasion I'm just adding a little bit of acrylic paints. And because it is clay and not completely wood, you do need to make sure you seal and varnish it at the end. I use a nice matte varnish so that you don't see the varnish at all. It doesn't become at all shiny, it's just a nice sealed finish. I didn't have time for any more perfection on my painting here, as I'm off to Maker Central in the morning, with the hope to meet Jazza, and as you saw, my dreams came true. Jazza is even more lovely in real life, and he did some fantastic motivational stage talks too. If you've not watched Jazza before, go and take a look at his channel. I'll put a link to his wood clay video below, and make sure you comment and let him know that Sarah from Red Rocking Bird sent you. So much fun. Will you have a go with wood clay? Let me know in the comments below. While at Maker Central this year, I did an air dry clay demo, and I'll share that whole project with you in another video. A practical and very cute piece of air dry clay. And I'll hopefully bring it along to Maker Central next year. Certainly a lot of fun. Please come and say hi in the comments below and let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next creative video.